Hi guys, my name's Tom. Live here in North Texas, do a lot of videos mainly about Tesla and about various either home repair or construction type projects. Today I want to talk a little bit about a problem that I'm having and that apparently other people are having, where the EV or EG4 wall mount battery will not communicate with the EG4 LL V2's. So let me give you a quick overview. Pardon my moving the camera, but let me show you what my setup is, and then we'll talk about what has happened and the workaround that I've been able to come up with. So what I've got is the 12,000 XP inverter, just installed probably 2 weeks ago. I do have the wall mount battery, the new indoor wall mount battery. Again, got it at the same time. And then I have had for a couple of years now 2 of these EG4 LL V2's. Previously, my system involved the EG4 6000 EX, the dual split phase, dual power inverter with the low frequency transformer in it. I really liked it. I had it mounted up on the wall on some 2x6s with space next to it for another one just like it. Unfortunately, EG4 discontinued that, or Sig Solar discontinued that before I could get the second one. My plan was always to go to ultimately a 50 amp system with at least 450 to 500 amp hours of batteries. I'm now there on the batteries, but had to go a different direction on the inverters. So here's the problem. The information that I had gotten initially from Signature Solar was that the wall mount, the indoor wall mount, would communicate with the EG4 LLs. That's apparently not entirely accurate. Having spent now a ridiculous amount of time on the internet researching this on various websites, it appears that the wall mount will communicate with the LL-S series, but it will not communicate with the LL V2's. Even though EG4 says that it does and says that it will, when I first reached out to support, I got what I regarded as a canned response, almost off of a script, about what you need to do, which I'd already done 5 times, and it did not work. So when I wrote back to them and gave them way more detail than they were expecting, and demonstrated that I clearly knew what I was talking about and that it didn't work, I actually got back a response to the effect of, oh, well, yeah, he's the guy I was communicating with had now talked to some other techs, and none of them had been able to get it to work for the wall mount to talk with the LLV2's. Not very encouraging. But my point is to show you what I've come up with as far as a workaround. So I'm not going to put all of my setup back to where Signature Solar said it was supposed to be. I mean, ideally, you're supposed to be able to set this up so that you get the switches, position 1, you make the wall mount battery number 1, you use the orange cable, and you go into the CAN port, and then you're supposed to, I do have the CAN cable connected but at the inverter end, but it's not connected at the battery end. You're then supposed to be able to use the green cable to run from the battery communications from the wall mount over here to the LL number 1, and then daisy chain that to the LL number 2. It doesn't work. I tried it multiple times. I tried it in various sequences. Here's what I wound up having to do. I wound up having to go to make, basically with Solar Assistant, I wound up having to make the wall mount battery number 1, but at ID 2. I then have on my 2 LLV2's, I have the one on the top is battery number 2. It's set up with the dip switches for position 3. And then the lower battery is the battery number 3, and I have it set with dip switches so that it's actually in position 4. I then had to go, you can't go with the battery comm port communications. All 3 of the batteries have to be on the RS45, 485. And what I wound up having to do is get splitters. Initially, I had been running Solar Assistant with the 2 EG4 LL V2's through this splitter. But then when I added the 3rd battery, I had to go to a 2nd splitter. I last night ordered a 8-port grow watt communications hub from Signature Solar, and hopefully that'll be here next week. But for the moment, this is actually working. So I have all of the batteries connected to the splitters by their respective RS485. And so we're then having all 3 of the batteries, and the inverter, of course, is connected by its Wi-Fi dongle. And so let me try and show you over here and bring it up on screen. It went to sleep on me. My apologies. So what I'm now showing, the batteries are connected. I get an error where the inverter is not always showing as connected. However, on the dashboard, and when I go to the, well, today it's not connecting. But let's look at the batteries. That's really the point of this. My point of this video is that Wi-Fi issues with the inverter notwithstanding, I am displaying all 3 batteries. All 3 batteries, and the wall mount is number 1, and it is correctly shown to have 280 amp hours, and then each of the other 2 both have 100 amp hours. So the good news is I am not able to have the batteries talking in a closed loop, but using Solar Assistant, I have actually got the ability to see all 3 of my batteries. And on a good day, I also have the ability to see my inverter, which unfortunately at this precise moment has chosen not to make itself seen. Nah, I'll deal with that. But the batteries are the main issue. And as of yesterday when I did this, I was actually able to see everything by way of the Solar Assistant. I do, even though it's a terrible day today, cloudy, overcast, 40 degrees, wind chill, I do actually have a little bit of trickle of solar coming in just to kind of trickle charge the batteries. But I do have all 3 batteries showing up for me on Solar Assistant. So unfortunately, they will not show on the inverter, no matter what I did. But I was able to get the batteries to show up on Solar Assistant. So my hope is that for any of y'all who have gotten frustrated trying to do what Signature Solar and EG4 tell you should be doable, and it's not, this is a workaround if you have or want to get Solar Assistant on a Raspberry Pi device. So I hope that helps. For anybody who's having this issue, there is at least a way to work around it and be able to see all your batteries, and most days I can see my inverter. So anyway, that was the purpose of the video. Hope it was of some help. Please leave any comments. If you have found a way to make this work through the inverter as battery IDs 1, 2, and 3, by all means, please let me know. But for now, I'm done wasting time trying to reconfigure this to make it work through the inverter when I can see everything I need to on Solar Assistant. So anyway, hope you all have a good day. Take care.